But for some reason, I was still very, very profitable. Well, I've only done that twice. And each time I was really profitable. It was like the show was really profitable for me. So what is up, everybody? It is your girl Carissa, and I am back with another video. As always, I'm gonna jump right into it just because I don't want to waste you guys' time, and I know you came here for the tea on these business tips that I've been giving out. So boom, let's just get right into it. So this video is going to be about tips on doing pop-up shops and vendor foremost. Let me just say this. Vendor events are pretty much kind of like a hit and miss. Pop-up shops are really like a hit and miss. You can really be super profitable at these events, and sometimes you can just pretty much make your money back. I've seen people who didn't make any money, so it's really just a loss to them. So just telling you guys, I'm just going to issue that disclaimer up front. So like I said before, this is business, and in business you take risks. And that is why I'm going to give you as much information as I can to make sure that you are always profitable when doing a vendor show or a pop. What these pop-up shops and vendor shows do for you is it pretty much allows you to interact with your customer. It allows you to get your brand out there. It allows you to build your email list, build your following on social media. That way you can retarget the customers or the customers that may have purchased from you at the vendor show, or it just gives some people that you may have met at the show a better insight to who you are and to make a purchase in the future. When you're going to do a pop-up shop or a vendor event, okay, really, I'm gonna mainly stick to kind of like a vendor. Now, when you're doing them, wear the product. Make sure you are wearing your product. I've made this mistake, but really it wasn't a mistake because I was still super duper profitable. But don't do what I did. Make sure you are wearing your product. I've done shows where I didn't wear my product. You know what I mean? I just didn't. I don't know what I was thinking, but for some reason I was still very, very profitable. Well, I've only done that twice. And each time I was really profitable. It was like the show was really profitable for me. So surprisingly enough, it happened that way. But I will suggest wear your product. Make sure that if you're selling hair, period. Make sure that your hair that you are well groomed. You are, have great hygiene. And you just are looking your best. Like you are looking the part of a business owner. You know what I mean? You are looking like a person that someone wants to buy from. So make sure that you wear your product. That's the first thing. Second thing, which I have like a bunch of little things, and this is like really in no particular order, so excuse me if I am all over the place. But the next thing is smile. When you're at these events, no one wants to come up to someone who's just sitting there looking like, I can't wait for this to be over. You know what I mean? Or I'm bored out of my mind. You know what I mean? Smile. Make sure that you're smiling and that you are approachable. I have seen this happen time and time again, that some vendors don't make any money. And I'm like, look at how you're not really approachable. I barely even wanted to come over here. You know what I mean? Because every time I do a show where it's a vendor show and it's multiple vendors there, I always go up and introduce myself to the person, let them know what type of business I have. And also I'm making my business to purchase from at least one person that's at the show, because I love to show support to other small businesses. So and another thing is I introduce myself to people because sometimes they may know about events that I don't know about, and vice versa. And we can kind of help each other out in this, entrepreneurship thing. Like we can help each other make money. So that's the next thing. Be approachable and smile. I'm not saying just stand there like, no, but just make sure like your aura's right and, you look like, yeah, sis, I got the best thing out. Like, look like that, okay? Next thing, make sure your energy is high. Make sure you have high energy. I know sometimes my energy is too much for some people, and that's completely fine, but I'm going to continue to be me, okay? And that's a big thing. Be yourself. I'm not saying have like super high energy like you crazy and high off caffeine. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying make sure you have high energy that is fun and it is inviting. That it is fun and it is inviting. You know what I mean? So make sure that you are being yourself. Just be yourself. People can see through a fake in a heartbeat. So be yourself. And again, just know that people buy from people. Okay. And that's why sometimes you can see one girl over here may have a product for $25 and this girl over here may have like the exact same product, but she's selling it for $35 and she's killing it. She's killing it because she's being herself. She's killing it because she has made that connection with her audience and they can relate to her. They can relate to her. They feel like they know her and they feel comfortable with buying from her. So no matter what the cost is, they're buying this product because of who it is. You know what I mean? So just be yourself. It's going to all work out. And just know that being yourself, everyone is not going to be for you. And that is completely fine. And you're not going to be for everyone. And that is completely fine. Because you can have, again, the same product as someone else. They may have a completely different, just because they have the same product that you have, you guys aren't going to have like the same customers. You may have the same type of customers, but you may not have the same customers just because you guys are giving off something different, you know, and that's completely fine. That is completely fine. Trust and believe. That is completely fine. I just got to keep saying that is completely fine because I've seen times where people have come up to me and they're like, well, I don't understand how they're killing it, or I don't understand, like my product is cheaper than theirs, or I don't understand, we have the same product, but I'm not getting this, you know, these exact same customers that they have. Sis, you're going to have your own customers and you just got to mind your business. And that's what I particularly do. I just mind my business. I just do what works for me. I just give off my true authentic self, period. And that's what works for me. So the best thing you can do is just be yourself. And that is really going to take you further than you could ever imagine. You just be surprised how many people may love you, may love your crazy loud ass, or may love your super quiet introverted ass. I don't know. Okay. They gonna love you though. Just know that. That's the next thing. The next thing is your table. Okay, this is kind of tricky. I've just learned different things in my time of doing vendor shows. How can I say this? If you are selling off of your table, meaning if you have like a small product, like if you have lashes and lip gloss and bundles and stuff like that that you have on your table, make sure your table is gorgeous. You know, make sure your table is inviting. Make sure your table is presentable, you know, that it draws people in. So, you know, have cute little things. I've noticed, even with myself, if I see like a super cute table, I really don't care what the product is on it. I'm just trying to see what is it, because because I'm like, what you got over here? I see lights and stuff, girls. I see glitter. I see rhinestones. What's over here? You know what I mean? So that's going to get that customer to come up to you. Not saying that they're coming up to buy. Sometimes they can just be like me and come up because they're nosy. But once you get that person to your table, you got them hooked. You got them. Like, you can make a sale. You can make a sale at that point, because that's what I do. Like, I mean, that's what people have done to me. I've come up just to be nosy, and I done walked away spending $80 to $100. You know what I mean? So make sure that if you're selling off your table, that your table is drawing in those customers. Now, if you're like me and you have clothing, you want to keep that stuff on your table at a minimum, or you want to like for me, I put pictures of the product on my table. I put pictures of me wearing the product on my table. So therefore, when the customer is looking at those pictures, it's like, oh my God, that's so cute. I like how you wore that. Okay, where can I buy? You know what I mean? So I keep my table at a minimum, but I also keep it to a point that it's going to attract my customers. Or even when I may have, you know, a customer that I'm working with and 2 or 3 customers waiting. That's something for them to look at. That's something to help them make their decision on what they're going to buy. That's something to help them see themselves wearing that product and how they're going to wear it and where they're going to wear it to. So just make sure that your table decor and stuff is inviting. Oh, and also on your table, make sure you have like a little snack or something like that for them to eat, you know, just stuff like that. Because sometimes I've noticed that people come up just for the snacks. And when they come up to my table for the snacks, oh, I got you, boo. I got you. Because, you know, I just start talking. And the next thing you know, they walk away with something from me. They walk away with a purchase. So yeah. And then also I would say this too, when doing these shows, create yourself a email sheet. So that way when people are coming up, whether they're buying or not, they make sure you get their email address, because that way that will let you retarget that customer. Because it has been so many times that I have bought things and can't remember where I got them from. You know, because I may have lost the card, I probably tossed the bag in the trash, and now it's like, oh, I want more of this, but I can't remember where I bought it from. But if you are getting their email addresses, then you can retarget them. You can let them know when you're having a sale or when you having when you got new product in, you know, so that way when you build your email list, you have that constant communication with your customer or potential customer. Or maybe someone, you know, liked something that you had and they didn't have the cash on them, or they just wasn't able to make that purchase that day. Once they see that email from you the next week, they're like, oh my God, yes, I forgot I wanted this. And then they turn around and buy. So make sure you have an email list with you. Tell your story. When customers are coming up, like I said, they want to get to know you. They want to get to know the person behind this product or the person behind this brand. Tell your story. Don't be ashamed of your story. Like, I was vending with a girl one time and her story was so personal. Like, oh my God, like the money that I made at the show that day, I spent it with her. So tell your story. People love to know what your story is and why you're doing what you're doing. So don't be afraid to tell the truth. Have the necessary utensils that you need when making a sale. So if you are selling a product, make sure you have some type of cute bag, you know, tissue paper in the bag, thank you cards in the bag. If you have a product that, you know, the customer can test prior to buying it, make sure you're having something for them to, you know, scoop their product out with and put it on, or, you know what I mean, something to squeeze the product out and put it on, something for them to eat the product with. You know, so make sure you have like the proper utensils that you need to close the sale from start to finish, you know, because I've seen it. I've done it. Sometimes I remember one time I did a show and I forgot my bags. And the customers are just walking out with product in their hand. Like, they have no bags, you know, so just make sure you have like all the necessary utensils that you need to appease the customer, and close the sale, pretty much. The last thing I want to talk about is make sure that you don't have any clutter around your area. Make sure things are clear and neat and clean, because that is going to be, that's going to also dictate and determine if someone is going to even come up to your table. Because if it looks like it's too much going on, you can forget it, because nobody's even going to walk up. And I just say one last thing. If you are selling clothes like I am, what I've learned over time is that I have clothing racks, but I've learned over time when I place out 2 to 3 mannequins and they can kind of see the product on the mannequin, even though I have pictures on the table, sometimes they still just want to see it in person on something or on someone. So I wear my product on me, but then I also have like 2 to 3 mannequins out. So that way, you know, when you walk into a store, you see something, you're like, oh, I want that whole outfit that's on a mannequin. I'm trying to give my customers that same impression. Like, you want this whole thing because I'm styling it right and it looks well put together, and that way you can see yourself in it. So yeah, I hope that this video helps someone. I really, really do. And like I said, it's 2020. I'm trying to make sure everybody gets to the bag. So if I can help someone with my story and my journey, then so, hey, so be it. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe this video. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will be back soon. Thanks.
That denim.
She buying that?
And that leather one.
Yeah, she buying all that. Y'all gotta come through.